Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from wherever you're joining us from, and welcome back to the Learn with LINX series. It's fantastic to see so many of you tuning in from around the world. I recognise a few familiar names, so welcome back. It's great to have you with us again. My name is Holly, and I'm part of the marketing team here at LINX. If this is your first time joining us, Learn with LINX is our ongoing series of free virtual educational sessions and webinars, bringing together a wide range of industry experts. Over the years, we've covered topics like Wireshark, DNS, BGP, IPv6, and even the fundamentals, like what is an internet exchange and how to use the LINX portal. You can catch up on all of our past sessions anytime over on our YouTube channel. All you have to do is search for @LINX Network. Today's session is also being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel shortly after we wrap up. In just a minute, I'll hand it over to our DDoS experts, Frank and Ralph, but before that, a little bit of housekeeping. This is a webinar, so if you'd like to ask a question, just use the Q&A button on your Zoom toolbar. I'll be keeping an eye on them and will pass your questions along to Frank and Ralph throughout the session, so don't feel like you have to wait until the end. We've explored a wide variety of topics and that hopes brings value to the community, but we'd love to hear your suggestions too. Feel free to drop us an email at marketing@linx.net or share your ideas in the chat. You never know, it might inspire others as well. We love collaborating with you. But that's enough for me. Over to the team. Let's get started.
Good morning or good afternoon. I am Ralph, the European Network Associate, and I'm here with Frank, our Chief Commercial Officer. We are very appreciative of the LINX community for joining in and LINX themselves for hosting this webinar. We will be giving a bit of information about our NaWas Anti-DDoS platform in this webinar. And thank you for joining in. We're very excited to inform you. So a bit about the NaWas and LINX collaboration. LINX is responsible for a majority of the growth that we have in the UK. It's a very community feel. They invite us to all the LINX member events where we're able to get to know some of you guys joining in today. We've published several case studies which show exactly how we operate within the NaWas and in collaboration with LINX, and they've published multiple of our DDoS statistics, which are quarterly infographics, which display multiple sources of attack sizes, how many attacks we see in the quarter, and some trends that we see within the NaWas, specifically about DDoS. We are both nonprofit organizations, so that really helps to be able to represent people, which is our members, and to be able to really have internet safety at heart. Specifically for LINX, this would be the UK, and for the NaWas, which is has started in the Netherlands, we are also growing within Europe to be able to have a safer internet for everyone on the internet. We also have the Closed User Group, which is the first of its kind. Closed User Group was created by LINX in 2019 to be able to pass traffic exclusively between members in the Closed User Group. And this gives those participating in the Closed User Group access to the NaWas service. So yeah, like I said before, this is the first Closed User Group of its kind. And it's been great so far. And it's a great tool to be able to bring our services to the LINX community.
Yeah, thank you, Ralph.
Yes.
Well, my part of the story is to share a little details about NaWas, what we're doing, how is it working technically, what data are we sharing and storing and analyzing. But first, I just got a question from someone, and he said, Frank, who are those bad guys? Who are the guys who are putting all this DDoS and all this malware into our systems? What is the reason? So first, to our point of view, there are four types of attackers. And of course, well, because of the war going on, the geopolitical situation, we all know that well, from the far east, a lot of DDoS attacks are coming with the reason to get propaganda, to attack critical infrastructure and websites, but mainly because those guys want to have attention in the press for their point. You know, if the Dutch government say, "Oh, we support Ukraine, we will send some weapons again," well, you see on Telegram in 5 minutes your website blah 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 will be attacked, and it really happens. So that's the main part of type of attacks and source of attacks we see lately. But also the other one, you guys in UK experienced the attack on Jaguar Land Rover, which was really nasty one. Those guys run a business. They have SLAs, send out DDoS to get awareness. If you don't pay, we will hijack your data or get your factory down, whatever. This is a business model, and this is even more dangerous and more extensive, costing a lot of money to companies. This is far more important type of attacks than the geopolitical ones. And then, of course, well, maybe you don't know, but your son or your daughter can be an attacker as well. We have seen in the Netherlands a lot of students who didn't learn, who didn't were ready for the exams, and just, well, buy a website, put $100 in, and brought the website down for the day. Well, that's an easy type of attack, but it happens a lot. So, yeah, and then we have the hackers as well. Let's say the people who want attention and hack for fun. But to be honest, those guys are in a minority lately, because probably they know their acts are really forbidden by law, and police will take. And there was a Dutch student, I think he was 16 years, 17 years, and he was arrested because hacking down the whole university network in the Netherlands. He didn't know the reach of his deeds. So, but NBIP, because NBIP is our model foundation, and NBIP is around for the last 20 years. NBIP was founded to solve collectively problems of the sector, and we run 3 services. We run, of course, NAWAS, which we discussed in the next slides. We're in also a service for lawful interception, where we help ISPs to fulfill the law to get information to government. So we don't work for government, we work for ISPs, helping them for instance, to place a tap. That means literally put a guy in a car with a server and cables going to the data center and physically put a tap for some time. But if government sends over the order, we check the contents of the order if it's complying by law. So that's part of the service for our lawful interception we do. We are running in clean networks, but of course the main part of our business is NAWAS. I mean business, we are not for profit, but we run the services as a business. Of course, we need to close the business case. We do a lot of investments in equipment, which cost millions, so we need to close the business case. But we are funded by our members, and later on I will show that we also get some money from the European Committee for Brussels for development. So on NAWAS, it falls apart in mitigation, reporting, research and collaboration, and also on detection. You put that slide. So it started in 2013 when NBIP was 10 years around doing the lawful interception. In Netherlands, we found out that DDoS was a problem. And maybe you know, but in Netherlands, we had a lot of small ISPs. I think in UK and other countries, there are a few big ones, like 8 or 10 big ISPs, tier 1 ones. But in Netherlands, we had a lot of tier 2, tier 3, and even smaller ones. Well, if you need protection for DDoS, you probably have to buy equipment like 300,000, 400,000 euros. And well, that was probably not even the net profit of those small ISPs. So 6 of them put money together and we're building a mitigation platform. Well, that was 10 years ago. If I jump to today, the services is available in 9 countries in Europe. I mean, including UK. And in UK, we have 12 participants. We call them members or participants, not customers, because of the foundation. And the number of members in UK using our service is growing because of the cooperation with LINX and sharing, well, like today, our information in their community. Overall, we have 130 members. Well, a lot of our smaller ones, a lot of them are tier ones lately who use us as a failover service, but also a lot of enterprise-like companies who run their own internet space. They need protection as well, financials, banks, etc. We'll move on. Of course, well, we're collecting a lot of data. Those data we try to share with the community. We try to analyze and to get trends to overcome and learn from attacks in the past, and to protect our members from future attacks using analysis, building fingerprint databases, and sharing those data with government institutions and universities. If you look what we're doing in volume, well, we attack, the number of attacks per day also varies, but at the usual day, we have 12, 15, 17 attacks. But lately we see that number growing. I can explain that in the next slide. So the data we share, we call it the attack analysis report. There's a lot of data, like the size, the number, the duration, the type of attacks. And you see, this is the last quarter. Well, that was probably because of a lot of attackers went on holiday. Historically, the biggest attack we mitigated is around 380 gigabits per second. But we see a lot of, can you do the next one? We see a lot of new type of attacks. And this slide shows the number, the duration, and you see that the short ones are growing very fast. In the past, well, we had an attack during 4 days. It was easy to mitigate, but the short ones are not so easy to mitigate. That's also the reason for that is also the type of attack. And well, this is again on the size we share. I was looking for the next slide. Okay. This is also in the attack analysis report, because lately we see a lot of new type of attacks on layer 7. Volumetric attacks based on layer 3, layer 4. They are easy to mitigate. We normally automate 9 out of 10 attacks are automated, mitigated. We see the reports, but there's no work for them. It's all done by the equipment. Lately, we see a lot of type of attacks on layer 7. So on the database, on the application layer, DNS attacks, water torture, carpet bombing. You can name all the names people give to them, but they are more complex. They are changing IP. They are very fast. There are attacks with millions and millions of parts per second, where you really need powerful equipment to mitigate and skills in your team. We are part of the Anti-DDoS Coalition in Netherlands. That's a cooperation between government, banks, universities, and the national NSSC. I think you guys in UK have the same structure, by a security part of the government sharing data and organizing internet getting more safety. We share a lot of data with universities, run projects on universities to overcome attacks and to understand how to mitigate best. So, well, this is the core of the presentation, the scripting center. How does it work? So we have 2 platforms running in Amsterdam. We have 1 platform running in Denmark. And how does it work? You guys do detection at your site, in your data center. We can provide you with a tool for detection. Well, you can do it by hand, but that's a problem in the evening and the weekends when no one works. And typically attack traffic is coming during the night because of the origin and the difference in time of attacks. So it's very preferable that you have a tool running, mitigate of detecting attack traffic, monitoring the traffic. Well, we can help. There are several tools around, open source. We have a preference for some tool we can offer and help you implementing. But basically, if the attack is detected, the /24, that's the largest size we can handle. The /24 is advertised into the NAWAS by BGP setup at your routers. And the moment our servers and routers receive your traffic, the mitigation starts immediately. Well, we have 3 phases of mitigation. The first is like pre-filtering on switches and routers, with the result that like 80% of volumetric traffic is already mitigated. Then, well, we have a multi-vendor setup. So the first box from the first vendor will mitigate basically the rest of the volumetric attacks. And if there is a more intelligent attack, the traffic goes to box number 2 from vendor number 2, and does the mitigation of the rest. Well, then the clean traffic is delivered back to you guys at LINX in the closed user group. There it comes. But that's basically for UK. We are around Europe. We have connections to all primary internet exchanges. You see them here in the slide in every country. So the latest thing I was pointing to is that we also help enterprises protect their internet structure, but like banks and big corporates have an inline solution bought through the channel and implemented one of the big vendors. There are 5 vendors around. And the first line of defense, that the attack is mitigated by their own boxes. But often the capacity is limited in gigs or in parts per second. Parts per second. And that is then a failover. Also, there is another reason because of legislation. Maybe some of you heard about the DORA Act. You need several lines of defense. So for corporates, you can go to the next slide. For corporates, we run the failover service. Where we are, well, the second line of defense in capacity or for the legislation. You can go to detection. So I already mentioned that there is a lot of tools, open source tools, to monitor your network and to find out about attack traffic. We have a deal with GD Networks. Those guys developed, they are around for like 20 years, and they developed a specific detection tool, not that complicated for our members. We offer knowledge, implementation skills, and help by setting up. For instance, if you want to implement a detection tool, it has to learn the baseline. That's how it works. It has to learn the baseline, let it run for at least 2 weeks, and then we can help to get rid of false positives. And after, if you are confident the traffic who comes through looks like expected at your site and our site, you can put it on automated. And basically, if an attack comes in, detection is done by the setups you made, and the traffic is automatically diverted to NBIP NaWas. Mitigation is done, and the clean traffic is delivered back to closed user group of LINX. It's pretty straightforward. If you think in terms to set it up, if you have already access to LINX, get the access to the closed user group is a matter of days. And after we can set up connections with you guys in 1 or 2 days. So the whole process can be done very quickly. Although don't wait till you are under attack. Yeah? Be prepared. Okay. So what were you doing to keep up our game? I already mentioned that we are part of the IPSI project running by European Committee. We are building the next type of mitigation on the edge. So not one big hub, but a distributed architecture. And we are building our own mitigation method as well. Mentioned before, we are a not-for-profit organization, and buying equipment from vendors, it needs billions and billions of euros. So we are investing a lot of development time and skills in developing our own mitigation methods based on open source tools. And in the end, we'll put that in the distributed architecture, and in the end, it will replace the expensive DDoS equipment from the vendors, with the goal of keeping the costs as low as possible for our members. Okie-doke. Now, to protect you guys better for layer 7 type of attacks, we developed our own WAF to protect your websites. Planning, well, it's mentioned here in future, but the beta test is running. And as alternative, as a redundant solution, if there is a problem in the network of the IH, we offer geo-retunneling. Also a little focused on the VoIP providers, because VoIP providers, there is no primary need to be connected to an internet exchange. And we found out that we are very clever in protecting the traffic of the biggest VoIP providers in Europe. It's very difficult because the SIP traffic is different than local traffic. I already mentioned the Anti-DDoS Coalition, where we are part of. And one of the biggest projects we are running as a split of the Anti-DDoS Coalition is building a database of fingerprints globally. And if you put that into the distributed architecture, make the combination, our vision is that if we have a POP in Asia, we can keep the traffic there based on the patterns we know, mitigate the traffic in Asia, and forecome that is coming to Europe and well, with other locations as well. And already mentioned the important layer 7 mitigation functionality. We're testing new features for that to keep up with, well, let's say our Russian friends. So yeah, that's a short wrap up on who we are, what we do, how we do it. And I would say if you are interested to join NaWas, anti-DDoS protection, 24/7 support at a very affordable pricing, and help keeping the internet safe together. That's what we like. Hope to receive your information requests. You can go to the website, can send mail to us. We're happy to set up a call and answer your questions. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, both, for that really interesting presentations. Now, we do have a few questions come in. So if you do have any, remember to use the Q&A function on your Zoom bar and get those to Frank and Ralph. So the first question is, what is the capacity of the NaWas? And that's from Tom.
Yeah. So that question falls apart in two phases. The capacity of the machines, that's one. But the capacity of the machines, it's like 300 gigabits per second, but it can also be 500 gigabits per second. It depends on how the traffic comes to NaWas and how many transits are used. So we are using a lot of transits, but yeah, normally you see that some traffic from some countries originated also always comes to one type of transit. So we can have multiple transits. We have 8 different access on transit, but normally the traffic comes to 1 or 2 pipes, and then you can have congestion at the beginning of the pipe. So what we do, we try to distribute the traffic and kind of load balance the traffic before it goes to the mitigation equipment. So the answer is like to layer it.
Okay, perfect. And the next question from Joe is, can the NaWas mitigate IPv6 attacks?
Yeah, absolutely. Still, IPv4 is outnumbered, of course. IPv6 is coming. We don't count it in our pricing model, though. But yes, we mitigate all types of attacks based on IPv6. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And Petra asked, is there a NAWAS able to mitigate layer 7 type of attacks?
Yeah. So it's layer 7 type is different than layer 3 or layer 4 because most of the attacks are not automated automatically. We need to communicate. We need to set rate limits. We need to discuss with the ISP. So on layer 7, definitely we do mitigation, but it's more face-to-face contact and working together than on the old stuff.
Okay. And next one from Anonymous. Does NAWAS offer always on or always demand services?
Yeah. No, we are always on service. So the moment you attack, your attack traffic is mitigated into NAWAS, then we start mitigating. And of course, if there is a special event or, for instance, we had NATO summit in The Hague this year, for preparation, we keep some /24s open running for a longer time. But it will eat our bandwidth. So basically, we're on on-demand service and not always on.
Okay, great. Next question. How many flow exporters can be configured, and is this redundancy supported with multiple collectors?
Can you repeat how many flows?
How many flow exporters can be configured, and is it redundancy supported?
Not sure if I understand the question perfectly, but we use flows for recognizing and establishing the mitigation method. So the number of flows we can receive there is no limitation. Maybe the answer is that we also run back the flows during an attack. We call that split flow. So if the /24 is advertised into the NAWAS, the member is kind of blind because the traffic is in our systems. And so we deliver back the flows. We call it split flow. So the member can see what happens in the attack and also can use this information for reporting. But if it is not the correct one, we can have a discussion after or one-to-one, no problem.
Perfect. Thank you, Frank. And I suppose the last and most important question is, how can our participants today get in touch with you both to find out more?
Well, there is the website. Our email addresses are, I don't think they are in the sheet, but we can share them. They can send a text or a mail to support@nbip.nl. And we immediately come back. There is an information contact form on the website. We are happy to share documents like the service description, the pricing model, even discuss POC or reference, anything you guys want.
Great stuff. Thank you. So that's it for the questions, but thank you, Frank and Ralph, for your time today. And thank you for all of our attendees joining us. We hope you enjoyed this session. So remember, if you have any other webinar topic suggestions, please get in contact with us by emailing marketing@linx.net and we'll look into it for you. Keep an eye on our events page on our website to find where we are in the world and what free training sessions we have coming up next, so you make sure you get yourself registered. Thank you so much for attending our webinar, and we hope to see you very soon. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.